Hey Booktube, it's Allie, also known as Allie's Books and Creativity. Today we are doing a TBR of book boyfriends, of books we read and characters we fell in love with, even though sadly, they don't exist. Only if we can make them exist. God. Alright, let's get started. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books for you of book characters that I fell in love with and all that stuff. And whew, that gave me like the chills, or not the chills, that gave me the Holy Toledo de Hajata Mole. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about, and the characters I fell in love with and all that jazz. All right, so let's now get started. The first book boyfriend we're talking about is Warner from Unravel Me and the Shatter Me series. His character becomes more lovable by the second book, which is Unravel Me, and I personally liked Warner over Adam after that, and it's never changed. I did finish the book. I finished the trilogy as a binge read, and I finished the other two. I think it was the other two. Was it two more? No, it was three more. Excuse me. Three more books after that. I finished it, and I just was in this horrible cliffhanger. Like, I wanted more of Warner and Juliet, and I couldn't get more of it. So I ended up just being sad for like a week. And I loved how Warner helped Juliet with her power. So, yeah, if you haven't read Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi, you are missing out. I suggest you pick up the series and go from Shatter Me, Unravel Me, Ignite Me, Restore Me. Then it's Defy Me and Imagine Me, which is 6 books. The first is a trilogy, but then it went to a series. So, yeah, I recommend that series to you. The next book boyfriend we are talking about is Grayson from the Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. If you were more of a Jameson fan, shame on you. I'm kidding. You can like Jameson, but I preferred Grayson. Justice for Grayson. Hopefully the next few books will be justice for him, so we'll see, but please be justice for Grayson, please. Grace, so the character, what was her name? Avery? Yeah, Avery is like, I guess she was like homeless or something, and she was on a will, and then when the billionaire of a grandfather passes away, she was put on randomly on the will to inherit the money, and Grayson travels to find her, and she travels from her state to another state to live out this fortune and this family. So yeah, I personally think Grayson deserves justice and deserves to find love. Definitely deserves it. The next book boyfriend we're talking about is Ren in Love and Gelato, where he has a love interest towards Lena, the character Lena. And what happened was, in this book of Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, Lena's mother's dying wish is for her to go see her dad in Italy and live with her dad in Italy. She does, and she runs into this cute man named Ren who's so into her, wants her to get to know Italy more. And she was just there for the summer, and she wanted to go back and live with her friend. And turns out she ends up liking Italy, spends time more with Ren, and the story is really interesting. I've been watching a TV show too, so my wording's not helping. I've been binge reading this. I binge read it in January. I got this done in like 3 days. The other one was like the second book was like, the other ones were like spin-offs. They were like companions. So the second book was in a day, and the other one took about a week because I just had stuff going on, so I was so busy. So yeah, I definitely liked Ren in this book out of the other book characters, so in the book series. So yeah, and I got that for Christmas, and I love it. I loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. The next book boyfriend we're talking about is Ravi from A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I liked Ravi. I liked how he encouraged Pip to not give up on the mystery case and all that stuff. That stuff has been reopened. I thought that was really good of Ravi. Like, her and Ravi, I thought were a good couple in this book. And oh my gosh, I would just liked Ravi. And I like the mysteries in Holly Jackson's book. And Holly Jackson does have a new book coming out April 2nd, and I did pre-order it. So will be getting it. I'm so excited. But it's not part of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This trilogy is complete. So the trilogy is only 3 books. There is a novella you can read. I read it off on the Kindle app of Libby through my library, and I thought it was good. I just prefer the trilogy, but I love this author, and I highly recommend her books. So she has the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, the standalone 5 Survive, then she has the novella of this trilogy, and then she has a new one coming on April 2nd called The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which I'm really excited, and I can't wait to read and get my hands on it. So yeah, other than that, I was a Ravi girl, and I liked how Ravi encouraged Pip to not give up on her case. Other than that, this was what I was talking about in this clip. And I would highly recommend this trilogy. You're missing out if you're not reading it. Read it. The next book boyfriend we're talking about is Michael from The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I'm currently on book 3, and it's really, really good. I'm flying by through the book, and Michael, he might have a temper, but he's very protective of the character Cassie. That's what I like about Michael. So that's my suggestion is, if you ever read The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, definitely pick this up. You're missing out if you haven't read it, because I felt like I was missing out when I was starting to read it. So please, 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 I highly recommend this book. Just give it a try. It is a mystery thriller, yes, but just give it a try. The next book boyfriend we're talking about is Rhysand from Akomath by Sarah J. Maas. Well, technically it's A Court of Mist and Fury, but for short we call it Akomath. I really liked Rhysand in this book, or we called Rhys for short. It does change a bit when I go to A Court of, what's it called? Not A Frost and Starlight. I am blanking out that book that had Nessa in it. It's up there. Oh, A Court of Silver Flames. A Court of Silver Flames. It does change a little bit, but I do like Rhysand in this book and how he was treating Farah very well. It takes you a minute, but then eventually you like him. You get into him. So yeah, I love this magical world of Sarah J. Maas and SJM's world in this book. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it, because if you haven't read it, you are missing out. So yes, pick up the book. The next book boyfriend we're talking about is Hunt by Crescent City of House of Earth and Blood by SJM as well, Sarah J. Maas. And Hunt, I fell in love with Hunt after he just entered the page. I was like, whoo! I need some more Hunt in my life. I do have to read the second book again. I read the second book a little bit after my dad passed, and I just couldn't focus on a book all the time. So I have to go back to rereading this, read book 2, and then read book 3 on my Kindle. So do not spoil this series. I repeat, this should be a non-spoiler. No touchy. No spoily. Nope. No spoilers allowed. If I see a spoiler comment, I'm going to be ignoring you for the remainder of my YouTube channel. I don't do spoilers. I want it to be friendly, and I want it to be a reading friendly environment. And number 1 rule is we do not spoil when we're reading new books. Okay? Okay. Glad we had that talk. The upcoming book boyfriend we're talking about is Cardan in The Cruel Prince by Holly Black and the Folk of the Air trilogy. I liked how Cardan treated Jude. I liked how he was nice to Jude and he was so hot. I'm not going to go into detail with this book, but this book was so good. The first book I read in like 3 days. The second book I read in 2 days. And the third book I read in 1 day. I flew by this book within a week. It was so good. This whole trilogy, I flew by it in a week. And I highly recommend this trilogy. I did get the sequel to the spinoff, and it is waiting to be read, so please don't spoil that either, okay? I just don't like spoilers. That's my number 1 rule. Okay, moving on. The next book boyfriend we're talking about is Kaz from Six of Crows by Leah Bardugo. I really liked this book duology. I was so mad when Netflix canceled the Shadow and Bone series that combined Six of Crows, and then they scrapped up Six of Crows spin-off show. Oh, I was so ticked. I was PO'd. But other than that, you always have the books. The books never go away. So I'll tell you that. If you want to know more about what happens in Six of Crows after Shadow and Bone, you can definitely read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and it will tell you. And you will get the Six of Crows story. That was going to come in season 3. But now there's going to be no Shadow and Bone season 3. Alright, well, I guess we'll move on this topic before we all start bawling our eyes out because we don't have no more Shadow and Bone TV shows. Thanks, Netflix. The 10th book boyfriend we are talking about is Ty from Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare from the Dark Artifices trilogy. Oh my gosh, I read this book in like a week. I have to reread it so I can read book 2 because it's been a while. And I know I've been naughty. I haven't been reading a lot of Cassandra Clare books lately. I've been reading mysteries. So I probably should go back to Cassandra Clare this summer a bit. And a bit of the fall so I can catch up. How can I wear this? I liked Ty. I really liked Ty. I had a thing for Ty. Something about Ty, man, was so... Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, I liked how Ty was able to kick some butt in this book. Other than that, we'll go on to book number 11. The 11th book boyfriend we are talking about. This will cause a little bit of an argument on comments, but please keep a void on that. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but my book boyfriend in this series was Cal from Red Queen. I was not a I was not a Maven book boyfriend person. I did not like Maven. I'm glad Mare chose Cal over Maven, to be honest. So, you want to fight with me in the comments? You can. I'm just going to be ignoring you. Because I don't do arguments on social media. Not at all. But you can speak your opinion, and I'll acknowledge it. But I'm not going to I'm not the one who's going to be arguing. But yeah, I liked how Cal and the other characters were helping Mare like go after Maven and stuff. Yeah, Cal helping Mare and the other characters helping Mare to go after Maven. So yeah. But other than that, that's my talk with this book, because this will lead to a lot of debates. So we're going to move on to this one really fast. The last book, Boyfriend, we are talking about, and if you hear my neighbor's dog barking, I'm sorry, she must see something outside. So I'll deal with that in a minute, unless it doesn't sound good, then I'll have to cut off. The next book, Boyfriend, we are talking about, the last one, is Hudson from in the book Covet from the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. At first I preferred Jackson in the first book, but when I got to this book, I was preferring Hudson by the second or third book, which is the third. I chose the third book over the second book because the third book is my favorite out of the series. She is having a spin-off of the book start coming out in May. I think it's May. I don't know if it changed. I would have to look. But as of this YouTube uploads, it will be, I think it's in May that it comes out. And it's called Sweet Nightmare. Yeah, Sweet Nightmare. And I really, really was in love with this series. I always got a copy when it came out. I always got them on time. And one time I did get one of the books early. I think it was this one, because the publisher like gave it to me early, and I was like, ooh, thank you. I could start it early. So I started it early, but finished it after the release date, because this is a massive book. How many pages were in there? There were, let's look. There were 692 pages in this book. Yeah, because when you hit like book 2 or 3, you get the 600 page mark. So yeah, that's the book Boyfriend is Hudson. Oh, my Hudson. Don't take him away from me. That's all I have for you today, and thank you for watching. Thank you for me showing my books of book boyfriends and stuff, and I will see you all again soon. I have some more book content coming. It just depends how busy I get and stuff. And I gotta go check on my neighbor's dog and see if she's okay, because that bark is making me a little concerned. So I gotta go. So I will update you guys another day, alright? So, bye!